Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. For the remainder of today's videos, and possibly for the remainder of the week, you may hear strange noises in the background. I've got some landscape gardeners in. Finally, years of nagging by my good lady wife have resulted in me having to get these people in. And so they're very busy working. I'm very busy watching them work over a cup of tea, which is, I must say, my favourite way of watching other people work. And as I'm doing so, of course, I'm making videos for your, I'm going to say enjoyment. That's very presumptive of me. Hopefully for your enjoyment. So just asking for your tolerance and forgiveness if you hear noises off. There's a few machines going on. Anyway, this video, council tax. Is council tax becoming the new poll tax? It seems very much as it is. Council tax now represents such a large proportion of people's income, for people at the lower end of the earning spectrum, that is. And the iniquity of it is actually laid bare in some of the figures. For people on an average wage, the poll tax can represent between 10 and 15% of their take-home pay. For the upper 20% of earners in this country, it represents about 1% of their take-home pay. It's a huge difference. And it means that the lower earners are proportionally paying a lot more than the rich. Now you may say, well, things cost. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, a pint of milk still costs the same. And yes, you're right, but food is food. Poll tax is just another tax. And if anything, tax should, in my opinion, I mean, you may disagree with me, of course, that's your prerogative, and if you do disagree, let me know. But I do think always that tax should be fair. Now, I would suggest that a purchase tax is fair. Because unless you're buying something that you have to buy, for example, food, and there is a tax applied, then you have the option of buying a cheaper version and paying less tax, or the better version, the more expensive version, and paying more in tax. But that's choice and ability. It's not an imposition. Thankfully, we don't pay tax on food. I don't think we should pay tax on a lot of other products beside food. You know, you shouldn't pay tax for energy, for example, coming into your home. I believe energy is a requirement and therefore not a luxury. You shouldn't have to pay tax on it. Obviously, you don't pay tax on children's clothes, but you do on adult clothes. Again, there's an argument that maybe you should. I would suggest getting rid of VAT on clothing, but having, how can we put this, a production tax, if you will, on where the clothes come from. And you do it by distance weight, you know. So the further these things have travelled, the more tax you pay on it. And that would encourage local production, for one thing. And also, if you could stop women changing their clothes every 3 months because fashion. I buy a pair of jeans, I wear a pair of jeans till they fall off me. I buy a pair of trainers, I wear them till they fall off me. I buy a t-shirt, I wear that until I spill something down it, which is far more common than I'm prepared to admit. But that's blokes, isn't it? Women, on the other hand, well, it's what's the latest style this week? You know, my wife's like that, and it drives me bonkers. Anyway, getting away from it, council tax. So, council tax becoming the new poll tax. Should council tax, well, first of all, should council tax even exist? Should there be a mechanism, for example, that central government pays, according to some very complex algorithm, amounts to councils based on a mixture of, say, physical size of the county, the number of people in the county, the geography of the county, the average wages of the county, things like that. And that can be scaled according to an algorithm. I'll leave the details to others. So that anyway, it all comes out, it's fairly distributed, and it goes to the councils, and it's taken from central taxation, which is predominantly a progressive taxation. The more you earn, the more you pay. The more you spend, the more you pay. That sort of thing. That's one answer. Or, of course, there is another answer that is council tax should be income dependent. The only problem I have with that, whilst I agree in principle, because it's a progressive way, the only disagreement is that you're giving other people at a local level, local councillors, access to your earnings. Do you really want that? Not sure. Personally, I think it should be just done away with. I think just get rid of council tax altogether. If it's not there, then it's one less bill you have to worry about. Put it that way. But when a bill like this comes due on your home, and you're forced to pay what could be, like I say, 15% of your income on a local tax, for which you do not get personally anywhere near the value for the money you're spending over, then you have to question its very existence. Should council tax be broken down in division? You should be able to opt in and opt out of the various services that the council tax covers. There's a question. Because at the moment, all I appear to get for my council tax is me bins emptied. Black bins one week, green bins the next. It alternates. But they're certainly not going around and fixing the potholes if the roads round here are anything to look at. That's the only trouble of living in the countryside, of course. Nobody cares about the roads. I can't think of anything else that my council does for me. I don't use leisure facilities. I don't go to school. I don't use a library. I'm not thick. If I need a book, I'll buy it. If I don't need it, I'll look it up online or watch a YouTube video. So, I have to question why I pay as much as I do for services I don't benefit from. And this is why I think it should all be centralised. But, different arguments. Another little strange one is that on average earnings, people spend only £300 less on council tax than on income tax. Council tax is becoming a poll tax, isn't it? You'll pay simply because you will pay, regardless of how much you earn or regardless of how much you get. It's a tax for living. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks very much. Bye.